The town needed a school. There were about 7 or 8 children of school age. The police officer, Sergeant Stott, had 3 or 4 children. There was the Nicker family with 2 or 3 children, the Crooks, and then a Welsh miner died out at Altunga, and he had an Aboriginal wife and many children. And when he died, the police inspector, Sergeant Stott, went out with a wagon to bring them in, and that made extra children for the school. And so Mrs. Standley, I think she was very brave. She came up from South Australia, and I mean, it was quite a journey, particularly for a lady on her own. She caught the train to Unadata, and then she came on with Trot Kunoth in a horse and buggy, and that was about a fortnight's journey. And there were only 2 little centres where people could stay overnight, otherwise they had to just camp in swags beside the road, which is not so bad when you live here and you're used to it, but someone coming from, and a lady travelling on her own, I think she was very plucky and brave. I've heard so many stories about the first schoolroom, but it was a hut in the police yard near the old courthouse in Parson Street, and the children had never done school, so she had quite a massive job with sort of 10 little bush children who'd never done school of all ages and groups. And she got a piano from somewhere. And Mrs. Breitling told me how hilarious it was when these children who'd never sung or even heard anyone sing all had to sing, and they all collapsed with giggles hearing each other making these funny little noises. And Mrs. Standley was sort of treated with high regard in the town. She was one of only 4 or 5 ladies, and everyone sort of thought she was a pillar and a rock. And I think she was just wonderful for the other ladies and a good support for the other few ladies in the town. Other children of Aboriginal descent, they all were living in a large sort of shared hut place behind the Stewart Arms Hotel. And Mrs. Standley was the sort of non-resident matron. She taught the white or European children in the morning and the children of Aboriginal descent in the afternoon. And then as the railway workers got nearer to town, they thought it would be better to move the children out to Jay Creek. And so she went with them as their matron. And then there was a lady called Mrs. Kramer, whose father was a Swiss missionary, and his children went to the school in Alice Springs. And she said that her father has such high regard for the teacher. She did such a wonderful job with his 4 children as well as other children. And he asked if the chasm, which was known as Gore Springs then, could be named Standley Chasm after her. And so it was.